What could have happened?
Jasmine, Cadiz, and Kashem. Kashem?
How old were they?
9 and 11.
I didn't know them.
Now, you guys, how does an entire family get unalive but no one gets arrested for the crime? So, y'all, Tammy Cooper was a single mother with 3 kids. She had 11-year-old Jasmine, and she had a set of twins by the name of Cadiz and Kashim. So, Tammy is from South Dallas, but in 2004, she moved her and her 3 kids to Lubbock. From what Tammy friends are saying, she just wanted a new start and she wanted to do something different. So she's in Lubbock for about 6 months and everything seems to be going okay, but on October 25th of 2004, one of her friends would make a shocking discovery. So Tammy had a friend that would come by and take the kids to school sometime. And on that day in October of 2004, that friend came to the apartment to take the kids to school when he noticed that the door was open. So he proceeds to go ahead and go inside of the apartment. But y'all, when he goes inside, he finds the body of Tammy and her 3 children scattered across the house and they are deceased. So he immediately called police. Now, once police came, they did determine that Tammy and her 3 kids had been brutally beaten and stabbed to death. But Tammy and her kids had only been in this town for about 6 months. And this crime seemed extremely personal. Who would want to kill this single mother and her 3 kids?
Overwhelming odds, she always had my back, you know. It was nothing that I wouldn't do for them kids or I wouldn't do for her. Somebody had to act a fool and become a selfish, self-centered individual and do something to 3 children and a mother just because of jealousy, rejection, or whatever.
So police began their investigation. Now, y'all, the first tip that they had was a friend of Tammy's that said she had talked to Tammy on the night that police believed they were unalived. Now, this friend is saying while she was on the phone with Tammy, there was a knock at the door. So we're assuming that one of the kids might have opened the door because the next thing the friend heard was Tammy say, "How did you find me?" So whoever that person was had made their way inside of the home without Tammy knowing. Now, the friend is saying she asked Tammy, like, who is that? And Tammy told her this: "You don't know him. His name is Butch and he's a black guy." So y'all, they end up getting off the phone. And from what the friend is saying, nothing that Tammy said made her feel like Tammy was in danger or she needed to call 911. So police know that whoever that Butch guy is has to be the person that killed Tammy and her kids. But y'all, once they start investigating, talking to Tammy's friends and her family, nobody knows who Butch is. What's even more strange is people in the neighborhood are saying that they had no idea who Tammy was or her kids. Now, that could be because they had only been in their apartment for about 6 months. But all of this just leads police nowhere.
She kind of kept to herself a lot, her and her kids. She didn't have a big social network in Lubbock.
Now, y'all, this crime happened 20 years ago, and there has never been anyone arrested for the murder of Tammy and her 3 kids. Now, over the years, there have been a lot of theories about what may have happened. And a lot of people believe that Tammy might have had somebody that she was talking to that was stalking her. Now, remember, she had just moved from South Dallas to Lubbock about 6 months prior to her murder and her kids' murder. And some people posed the question, what if she was leaving South Dallas to get away from somebody? Now, she didn't tell her friends or family that was the case, but some people feel like maybe that was the case and she just didn't say it. Not to mention her saying, "How did you find me?" once that person came inside of her house. Now, let me say this. I'm not accusing anyone of anything. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty. But I thought it was odd that the friend was the last person that talked to her, and the friend is the one who gave the police the name Butch. Nobody seems to know who Butch is. Nobody seems to have ever heard of Butch. Not only that, if you're Tammy's friend, I feel like you would have known who Tammy was talking to. Not only that, y'all, I thought it was odd that the friend said Tammy said the man's name was Butch and he was black. Now, it could just be me, y'all, but I feel like the friend saying, "Oh, his name is Butch and he's black," was them trying to give a police some type of description. Almost like trying to throw them off. Because, y'all, police never found this person. Now, another thing I found odd was this person killed the kids. Now, we know that the kid's father has been ruled out. So my thing is, if this person killed the kids, it was because the kids knew who this person was and could tell police. Now, if this was just some random attack and Tammy didn't really know this person, or if this was a guy that she was dating and had never met the kids, I don't think the attack would have went the way that it did. Stabbing and beating is very personal, especially to do that to some kids. Now, another question we could ask was, who was the friend that showed up to take the kids to school? But obviously, police have also ruled that person out as well. Now, y'all, this case is over 20 years old. Like I said before, it has never been solved. So there could be a killer out there on the loose that literally killed a woman and her 3 kids. As we look at this case again 20 years later, what are your thoughts on this whole situation? I personally believe that it was somebody she knew and that knew those kids. Comment below and let me know your thoughts on this case.